Hi, my name is Elizabeth Main, and I'm here to talk to you about the CRAAP test. The CRAAP test is a series of criteria we use to analyze and evaluate websites used in our research projects. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at the questions, read them, and evaluate the source, explain your analysis on the right, and then rate the source on the left, and a rating of 0 to 5. Okay, so currency. If relevant, when was the information gathered? We want to make sure that we have up-to-date information. When was it last reviewed, edited? Are the links functional? We want to make sure that it doesn't have any broken links, because broken links usually means it's old information that's not been kept current. Okay. The next one would be relevance and coverage. What's the depth and breadth of the information presented? Right? We want to make sure that it goes deep in the knowledge and not just a cursory overview, because a cursory overview is great if you're just looking for general information, but we're going in depth inside these issues, so we want to make sure we get the full understanding of the author's purpose and the information and the facts listed. Is the information unique? Okay, so we want to make sure that we check our information, our facts, at least 3 to 5 other sources besides this one, to make sure that we're not just looking at someone's opinion, because there are many websites out there, such as the octopus in the trees, that you only find that information on one website, and we all know that there are no octopuses living in trees in the upper Northwest. Okay. Is it available elsewhere in print or electronic format? That's where we're going with that. And could you find the same or better information in another source, i.e. peer-reviewed text or standard media? Peer-reviewed text is really great because it has been reviewed and vetted by other professionals in that field. And so we're more likely to get accurate information. And who is the intended audience? We always want to look for the author's purpose. If they're trying to be highly persuasive, such as Fox News or MSNBC, we want to make sure we get the medium range and try to find a consensus. Okay. Your overall assessment is very important. Would you feel comfortable using this source? Is it too biased? Is it too prejudiced? And then authority. Who is the author, creator, or sponsor? Are the author's credentials listed? It's very important to know what their credentials are. Now, we definitely don't want somebody who is speaking on oceanography who's not actually an oceanographer, okay? We don't want somebody who's an optometrist speaking on ideas of oceanography, okay? Because they don't have any authority in that particular realm, all right? So does the author have a reputation? Is it good? Is it bad? Are they known for being very detail-oriented and going into the depth of the problem and looking at both sides of the story? Or are they known just for spouting one opinion? Has the author published works in the traditional formats? Online resources such as online databases, online journals, regular journals, books, textbooks, etc. Or is it just a blog? Okay. Is the author affiliated with any organization? That's very important, especially if you're doing historical research and current research, because you want to make sure that you get the most unbiased opinion possible. And you want to look out for things like the John Birch Society, which only has one particular opinion, and they never go back in and explain the other side. Okay. Does this organization appear to support or sponsor the page? That's also very important, because you want to make sure if you're looking at pharmaceutical drugs, you're not only reading just the pharmaceutical company's opinion about this particular drug, you're also looking at the FDA, you're looking at Medline, those types of sources, to make sure that they all say the same thing. You're not just taking the company's word for it. What does the domain name, the URL, reveal about the source? So is it educational? Is it commercial? Commercial, you definitely have a cost-benefit analysis on them giving you the correct or fully accurate sources. Okay, is it a government source? They're usually generally more accurate, and so on. Where does the information come from? Are the original sources of information listed? The accuracy part, that is really wonderful because you want to look for, is the source viable? How old are the sources that this particular text is quoting? Because you want to make sure they're in between 5 to 10 years. I would stay on the younger side of 5, actually. And accuracy, not only does that tell you how accurate their information is, it also helps you find the backup research. So it supports these current people's ideas. It's called purling. And can you verify any sources of information independent from your own knowledge? That's also very important. So we always want to have a book and brain connection. We just don't want to have our opinion floating out in space. And this is exactly what we believe. Because then we get in the ideas of the Flat Earth Society. Earth's not flat. We have satellite data to prove it, but there's still people out there who believe that. And it's especially prevalent on the internet. Has the information been reviewed or referred? That goes back to that peer reviewing. Make sure the data is accurate because multiple eyes have looked at it. It's not just from one stakeholder's personal opinion. And does the language or tone seem biased? You can just look at the news today and it's very biased. You can watch the same event and how they spin it. And the language or the tone is very virulent against who they disagree with and very supportive of who they agree with. There's actually a media monitor online, an app that you can use. And are there any spelling, grammar, other typos? That kind of gives the clue that this has not been vetted. It's just somebody's personal opinion because journals go through several layers of review and most of those would have been caught. Purpose. Are there possible biases clearly stated? Is it advertising? Advertorial is very hard to distinguish sometimes, where they're giving you great information, but they're also saying, hey, they're only giving this information because they want you to buy their product. Okay. Are the editorials opinion pieces clearly labeled? Is the purpose of the page stated? Why are they putting this out there for you? Do they want you to purchase their roofing company? Or do they want you to vote a certain way because our primaries are coming up? Okay. And is the purpose to inform, teach, entertain, enlighten, sell, or persuade? That's a lot of things to look for. The entertainment and the enlightenment it gives you a different perspective on life. Entertainment, of course, would be, to make you laugh, make you cry, what have you. What does the domain name URL reveal about the sources? Again, did you notice that also came from authority and is now also in purpose? Because that really goes back to this idea of why are they here? What do they want to tell you, make you feel, listen? You have it. And do you think this is a reliable source for high school or college level research, and explain why? Okay, so we want to make sure that you are looking for the relevancy to your research. Okay? If it's too low of a level, it won't benefit your research because you have to maintain a certain level of understanding and analysis. And if it's too high, then you're really not going to understand what it's telling you. So please be careful of that as well. All right, if we go over to the Padlet, we will see that our discussion question is, the CRAAP test is one of the most widely used methods to evaluate especially internet resources and credibility and accuracy. Is the CRAAP test still a viable evaluative tool? And explain your reasoning based on the resources provided. Okay. Our AASL standard is number 4, curate, make meaning of oneself and others by collecting, organizing, and sharing resources of personal relevance. Learners act on information need by 1, determining the need to gather information. Number 2, identifying possible resources of information. Number 3, making critical choices about information sources to use. And learners gather information appropriate to the task. 1, by seeking a variety of sources. 2, collecting information representing diverse perspectives and stakeholders. Number 3, systematically questioning and assessing the validity and accuracy of information. And number 4, organizing information by priority, topic, or other systematic scheme. Learners will select and organize information for a variety of audiences. 1, by performing ongoing analysis of and reflection on the quality, usefulness, and accuracy of curated resources. Number 2, integrating and depicting in conceptual knowledge network their understanding gained from the resources. You have to explain your analysis, explain how the facts match what you support or your conclusions. Number 3, openly communicating curation processes for others to use, interpret, and validate. Because I will take a rubric and I'll be looking at your sources and your conclusions, and I need to see how your sources fit in and support your conclusions. Okay, going back this way, we know our discussion question. And if we scroll down, we can see the 10 resources you have to answer the discussion question. And as a review, the discussion question says, the CRAAP test is one of the most widely used methods to evaluate, especially internet resources, for credibility and accuracy. Is the CRAAP test still a viable evaluative tool? Explain your reasoning based on the resources provided. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much and happy researching. Bye.